They think about you more than you realize, not once in a while, not just when they're bored, but almost every single day. And yet if you ask them directly, they would deny it without hesitation. Because the truth is, some feelings are too loud to be spoken and too dangerous to be revealed. You see, there's a strange kind of connection in this world, one that doesn't need constant messages, calls, or presence. A connection that lives in silence, but breathes in memory. It's the kind where someone remembers the way you laughed at something small, the way your eyes softened when you spoke about your dreams, the way your absence suddenly made everything feel quieter. But here's the part that hurts. They will never tell you. Not because they don't care, but because admitting it would change everything. It would expose vulnerability. It would force them to confront emotions they've carefully hidden behind pride, fear, or timing. So instead, they think about you in silence. They replay moments. They wonder what could have been. They feel your absence in ways they cannot explain. And you're left sensing something, but never fully understanding it. In this video, we're going to uncover the hidden psychology, the silent behaviors, and the subtle signs that reveal when someone is thinking about you every day, even if they never admit it. Part 1. The silence that speaks louder than words. Before we talk about obvious signs, we need to understand something deeper. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is often a shield, a carefully constructed barrier between what someone feels and what they're willing to risk. There are people in this world who have mastered the art of hiding their emotions, not because they are cold, but because they have learned, often painfully, that expressing too much can lead to loss, rejection, or regret. So instead of saying, "I think about you," they do something else. They go quiet, but this silence is not absence, it's presence in disguise. Think about it like this. When someone truly doesn't care, their silence feels empty. There's no weight behind it, no tension, no invisible thread pulling your thoughts back to them. But when someone does think about you constantly, their silence feels different. It lingers. You feel it in the pauses between conversations, in the way they disappear, but never completely detach, in the subtle way they stay connected without ever crossing the line. Philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, "The heart has its reasons which reason knows nothing of." And this is exactly what's happening here. Their logic tells them to stay silent, but their heart refuses to let go. So they live in contradiction. They don't reach out, but they check your status. They don't call, but they notice when you're gone. They don't speak. This kind of silence is not indifference, it is restraint. And restraint is often the strongest evidence of hidden emotion. Reflective takeaway. Ask yourself, does their silence feel empty? Or does it feel like something unspoken is constantly trying to reach you? Because if you can feel them, even in their absence, it's not your imagination, it's their unspoken truth, finding its way to you. Part 2. The invisible pull you can't explain. There's a strange phenomenon that most people dismiss as coincidence, but deep down, it feels like something more. You think about them, and suddenly they appear. You feel a shift in your mood, and later realize they were thinking about you at that exact moment. You try to move on, but something keeps pulling your attention back to them, like an invisible thread you can't cut. This isn't just emotional attachment, it's something deeper, a psychological imprint. When someone thinks about you repeatedly, you begin to exist in their mental world. And over time, this creates what Carl Jung described as a kind of unconscious connection, where two people become linked not just through interaction, but through meaning. It's like hearing a song you haven't listened to in years, yet it instantly brings back a person you thought you had forgotten. That's not memory alone. That's emotional encoding. And here's where it becomes powerful. People who think about you every day don't just remember you, they revisit you. In their thoughts, conversations replay, alternate endings are imagined, things left unsaid are finally spoken. But in reality, they say nothing, because acknowledging this connection would force them to act. And action is risky. It could lead to rejection, awkwardness, or the collapse of the version of you they've preserved in their mind. So instead, they stay in this invisible space where they can feel everything without losing control. And somehow, you feel it too. You may not have proof, no messages, no confessions, no clear signs, but there's a pull, a quiet, persistent awareness of them that doesn't fade. Reflective takeaway. Not every connection needs constant communication to exist. Sometimes the strongest connections are the ones that live in the background, shaping your thoughts without asking for attention. So ask yourself, why do they still cross your mind, even when you try to let go? Because sometimes that pull isn't one-sided. Part 3. The way they almost reach out, but don't. There's a moment that exists in people who think about you every day. A quiet, fragile moment where they come this close to reaching out. They open your chat, they type a message, then delete it. They scroll through your photos, linger, then exit. They tell themselves, not today, maybe later, and later never comes. This is not coincidence. This is inner conflict. Part of them wants to break the silence, to hear your voice again, to re-enter your world, to confirm that what they feel is real. But another part of them holds back. Why? Because reaching out means facing uncertainty. It means risking that you've moved on, that you don't feel the same, or worse, that you might respond casually, as if what they've been holding on to meant nothing. So they stay trapped between desire and fear. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once wrote, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom." And that's exactly what they experience. They have the freedom to reach out, but the weight of what could happen paralyzes them. So instead of acting, they hesitate. Instead of speaking, they observe. Instead of confessing, they imagine. And this creates a pattern, one you might recognize without realizing it. They appear at the edges of your life. They react, but don't initiate. They stay present, but never fully step in. It's like watching someone stand at the door, hand on the handle, but never opening it. Real-life analogy. Imagine someone standing outside your house every day. They come close enough to knock, but each time they turn away at the last second. Not because they don't want to come in, but because they don't know what waits for them inside. That's what they're doing emotionally. Reflective takeaway. Pay attention to patterns, not words. People can hide their feelings in silence, but their hesitation often reveals everything. Because when someone almost reaches out, again and again, it means you are never far from their mind. You are simply too important to risk losing. Part 4. The truth they hide. Because it would change everything. At the core of all this silence, all this hesitation, all these invisible connections, lies one undeniable truth. They haven't let you go. Not emotionally, not mentally, not completely. You still exist in their inner world, not as a passing thought, but as something unfinished, something unresolved, something that still carries weight. But here's the part most people don't understand. Admitting this truth would require them to confront everything they've been avoiding. It would mean asking themselves difficult questions. Why do I still think about them? Why didn't I act when I had the chance? What if it's too late now? And sometimes the answers are uncomfortable. Maybe it was pride that held them back. Maybe it was fear of rejection. Maybe it was timing, the cruel kind that separates people who could have been everything to each other. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Invisible threads are the strongest ties." And that's exactly what this is. You are tied to them, not by constant presence, but by emotional significance. But instead of facing this, they choose distance. Because distance is safer than vulnerability, silence is easier than confession, denial is simpler than truth. So they carry you quietly, through ordinary days, through random moments, through memories that appear without warning. You become the thought they push away, and the one that always returns. Real-life reflection. Have you ever tried to ignore a song stuck in your head? The more you resist it, the louder it becomes. That's what you are to them, a presence they try not to feel, but can't fully silence. And here's the hardest part to accept. Just because someone thinks about you every day doesn't mean they will choose you. Feelings don't always lead to action. Awareness doesn't always lead to courage. And connection doesn't always become reality. Final takeaway. So don't measure your worth by what they fail to express, because their silence is not proof that you meant nothing. It may be proof that you meant too much, in a way they didn't know how to handle. Somewhere out there, someone carries a version of you in their mind, a version they revisit in quiet moments, a version they never truly released. But your life, your story, cannot wait for someone else to find their courage. So ask yourself, will you keep trying to decode someone's silence? Or will you choose a life where love is spoken, shown, and undeniable? Because real connection, the kind that transforms your life, doesn't hide in hesitation. It shows up. And maybe, just maybe, the right person won't just think about you every day. They'll make sure you never have to wonder.